This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Now at 11, a police pursuit that lasted mere seconds, but when it was all over, one person was dead. We'll tell you what happened. Plus, a call to action. Can you help a woman find the porch pirate who stole a cherished piece of furniture? But first, months of anticipation finally ending today as the Indigo Red Line is now officially open. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. Well, it was a very busy first day for the rapid transit line that runs 13 miles from Broad Ripple to the University of Indianapolis. RTV6's Graham Hunter took a packed ride to find out what people think about the brand new electric bus system.
Here comes another busy bus.
Bus is turning.
Day one was met with some difficulty on our part because the first two buses we came across were simply too packed to get in.
Can we squeeze?
But eventually we did find our ride, along with dozens of other riders like Stacy and Joel Wyrick.
Oh, I think we had a lot of fun. It was very packed, so I guess that's fun to see.
Free for the month of September, Indigo is giving commuters a chance to test the Red Line out before fares of $1.75 for each ride come into play. You'll pay $4 for a day pass.
I was nervous. I mean, it was a mess for a while, and it took a long time.
There were some hiccups for the Red Line on Sunday. RTV6 reporter Cameron Riddle was riding a bus this afternoon that was involved in a hit and run. Riddle saying in his opinion the bus driver wasn't responsible. He took some pictures of the damage. We don't know exactly what happened that caused the crash, but police are investigating. The Red Line has changed traffic patterns all along the route with driving lanes removed, different turning lanes, and bike lane changes.
We lived close to all the construction, so we kind of had to live through all of the inconvenience of that, but the payoff has been great and it's turned out beautifully. I'm really proud of our city.
Kristen Nevins says she was met by Indigo ambassadors on her first ride that told her about the MyStop app, which is free to download.
It tells where the bus is, how many riders are on it.
For Nevins, the Red Line represents convenience. Will you continue to ride once they're not free rides anymore?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want my family to know how to ride the bus, and I want this to be a normal part of how we get around Indianapolis.
A spokeswoman for Indigo says frequent riders won't have to keep paying for rides if they use the bus more than a few days a week, saying no one will ever pay more than $15.75 where the price of weekly rides is capped.
We know people who have moved to be close to the Red Line because they can cut down a car in their family.
For the Wyricks, today was about trying something new.
We're probably just trying it out today. We have a car, so it's easier for us to get around with that.
But for their 5-year-old son, Will, the bus was just pretty cool.
It bended.
Are you going to ride the bendy bus again, you think?
Yes.
At least someday.
I think when I'm a grown-up.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. Well, today's crash involving the Indigo Red Line electric bus is the third since Monday. Call 6 investigates learned 2 Indigo Red Line buses were forced out of service just days before the Red Line officially opened. The crash has caused thousands of dollars in damage to the buses. Indigo says one of the crashes happened Friday and involved a distracted driver who T-boned the Red Line bus at 14th Street and Capitol Avenue. On Monday, there was another crash on Capitol Avenue as bus drivers were practicing their routes.
So for every incident, there's an in-depth analysis of the situation that occurred. We have video on all of these buses, multiple angles. There's a lot of responsibility driving a 2,000-pound vehicle down the road, and that's why it's really critical that everybody is watching out for each other and keeping safety at the top of the list.
Indigo is encouraging drivers to learn how to navigate the roads with the buses, especially on Capitol Avenue, which is a one-way for drivers, but buses drive both directions. Let RTV6 get you ready to ride by watching our special report Inside the Red Line on the RTV6 app and all your streaming devices and on the IndyChannel.com. Click on Graham Hunter's story for more details on today's official launch. New at 11, RTV6 is working for you with a call to action. A woman who lives on the southwest side is sharing this home surveillance video with us tonight. It shows a woman coming up to her home near Kentucky Avenue and Man Road around 4:45 this morning. The woman takes her patio furniture off the front porch. What makes this situation sad is this is her great-grandmother's house and furniture who passed away 3 years ago, and it has sentimental value. Less than a mile away, this video was posted on the neighbor's app photograph that you saw there showing what appeared to be the same woman stealing a flower pot. If you know who this woman is tonight, contact Crime Stoppers. A deadly ending to a very brief police pursuit on the northeast side. It happened just after 1 o'clock this afternoon near Pendleton Pike and North Franklin Road. A driver crashed into a tree, then into a light pole. This all happened in about 10 seconds. Police say the driver sped away when they tried to pull him over. They believe he lost control of the car because of the wet road. That person's name has not been released. New tonight from Henry County, 3 people are under arrest after investigators say they left the scene of a fatal crash that may have been alcohol related. Earlier this morning, deputies found 21-year-old James Davis of Greenfield dead inside of a damaged car on County Road 400 near Newcastle. No one else was around, but deputies later arrested 3 people who had been in the car with Davis when it crashed into a nearby utility pole. All those people are 18 years old, and one of them was driving that car. We have new information now about a fatal crash in Avon. Authorities have identified the person killed Saturday afternoon as 20-year-old Rainey Ward of Danville. She was a passenger in that vehicle that crashed into an embankment at the intersection of Highway 36 and Glenbrook Lane. Ward died at the scene. The driver suffered multiple injuries. That investigation is ongoing. Hurricane Dorian is crawling toward the U.S. mainland tonight after slamming into the Bahamas as a powerful Category 5 storm with 185-mile-per-hour winds. Ahead of the storm, state of emergencies have been declared from Florida to the Carolinas, with hurricane warnings now in effect along the east coast of Florida. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in Daytona Beach tonight with the latest.
For days, officials here in Florida have said Hurricane Dorian will be dangerous and residents need to be prepared. Well, now having seen the damage done in the Bahamas, I can tell you no one is taking any chances. Hurricane Dorian making history as the strongest storm ever to strike the northern part of the Bahamas.
We need help. Please, someone please come help us.
Dorian leaving a path of catastrophic destruction, ripping roofs off buildings, shredding homes into pieces, and the rain and storm surge flooding streets with feet of water. The eye of the storm passing right through the Abaco Islands, where ABC's Marcus Moore and team took cover.
Look at that. Those are the wind gusts that we have seen and that officials have warned about.
The monster storm now marching towards the U.S., threatening millions along the East Coast from Florida to Georgia and the Carolinas.
North Carolina has to take this seriously. Be ready.
Some authorities already announcing voluntary and mandatory evacuations beginning Monday in parts of South Carolina and Florida, where hurricane warnings are also now in effect.
It's nothing set in stone here. That's why we're trying to prepare for the worst.
In Daytona Beach, Florida, most business owners and residents heeding that warning from officials, spending the day boarding up their windows and stocking up some more just in case.
We got 9 sheets of plywood here, and then we got, I think, maybe 4 cases of water at home. 11 gallons of gas and a generator.
Once you live through a few of them, you learn to respect Mother Nature.
There you have it. The people we talked to, as you just heard, know how to prepare for hurricanes, and they say they know to leave when those evacuation orders go into effect tomorrow. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Daytona Beach, Florida.
And a much different story in central Indiana. This is our Salesforce camera looking to the north, but all the action is south of Indianapolis. A cluster of thunderstorms, some with real strength there, moving between Columbus now and Greensburg. This is cutting across southern portions of Decatur County. What can you expect? Some 40-mile-per-hour gusts, pea-sized hail, nearly constant lightning, and torrential rainfall. There's the hail associated with this in southeast Bartholomew County. Pea-sized hail may continue then in the southern portion of Decatur County. That's really the only area of thunderstorms. We'll look at that again when I come back. 64 in Peru, 69 in Bloomington. Otherwise, temperatures generally lower 70s from Terre Haute to Indianapolis. Overnight, the thunderstorm threat will come to an end. All this activity will push into the Buckeye State. If you've had rain this evening, you're more likely to have the fog in the morning. Patchy fog probably till about 8 or 9 o'clock. Then we'll start to make some progress. Temperatures through the day tomorrow headed back into the low 80s. 66 with a patchy fog at 8 a.m. dry. Then as we get to noon, 74 with some sun peeking through. We'll need to be patient. Take a little while to get to the sunshine in the afternoon. We'll talk about more thunderstorm potential and what it means for temperatures. It's a big temperature swing ahead in the forecast. That's coming up.
All right, Kevin, thank you. As storms rolled through central Indiana earlier today, Carmel firefighters responded to a house fire they say was likely caused by lightning. Crews were called out to a home near 126th and River Road around noon today. A woman inside said she heard a few booms and a popping sound, and the lights started to flicker. She came out of her bedroom to find heavy smoke, and neighbors were knocking on the door trying to notify her that there was a fire. When firefighters arrived on scene, the fire went through the roof at that point and made it to the attic.
In these situations, you know, a lot of times, make sure if you're looking around and you hear lightning, you think maybe your house or a neighbor's house got struck. We've said this just in these recent storms too. Make sure you call. That's what we're here to do, the fire department. We're here 24/7, 365 days a year for that reason.
No one was injured today in this fire. Firefighters do say the biggest takeaway they have: always call 911 so they can respond and get that fire put out quickly. Coming up, the search for a 10-year-old Indiana girl. If you've seen her, police want to hear from you right away. The death toll in a shooting rampage has increased, and the list of crime scenes is expanding. The latest on the investigation when the News at 11 continues.
Select 2019 Cherokee models at dealer stock.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
A silver alert has now been issued for a missing 10-year-old girl from Gas City. Skyly Carmack was last seen Saturday afternoon around 4 p.m. in the 200 block of South D Street. She was wearing a black Mario and Luigi shirt and black pants. If you have any information on Carmack's whereabouts, call Gas City Police at 765-674-2278. Residents of Odessa, Texas gathered tonight to mourn those killed in a shooting spree that began in Odessa and ended in neighboring Midland. 7 people were killed, more than 20 injured. The alleged shooter was killed when officers used their cruisers to ram his vehicle and then shot him once he exited. ABC's Shelley Childers has the latest tonight on this investigation.
The FBI has joined the Texas Rangers to now investigate this deadly rampage that now has 15 to 20 different crime scenes, ranging from the interstate to local streets, shopping centers, and the movie theater where it all came to an end, police killing the gunman.
I'm not naming this subject. I refuse to. I'm not going to give him any notoriety for what he did.
It began with a routine traffic stop, state troopers pulling over a white male said to be in his 30s, but before his vehicle came to a stop, that suspect firing out of his rear window.
Do we have an active shooter?
A bloody rampage followed, the shooter eventually abandoning his car, stealing a postal van, then firing from that vehicle. SWAT teams eventually storming this movie theater and evacuating patrons.
Initially, we thought that the SWAT officer was the shooter. They identified themselves and they're like, everybody out.
Everyone sprinting to a nearby field. Dozens of rounds fired before the gunman was shot and killed by police.
And I'm lucky. There was a lot of people today that probably didn't go home.
Among those injured, a 17-month-old girl who was struck by shrapnel.
She's smiling and she's stable.
The governor saying he's been to too many of these shooting crime scenes.
The status quo in Texas is unacceptable, and action is needed.
Federal authorities assisting in the investigation, seeming to echo the governor's feeling.
We will be here for the duration of the time that the chief needs our services. And unfortunately, we will then get ready to go to the next active shooter, which is an unfortunate statement to make, but it seems like that's what we do.
This latest shooting happening just as new gun laws go into effect in Texas, reducing gun restrictions. Governor Greg Abbott says more needs to be done to keep guns out of the hands of criminals, but declined to give specifics. For ABC News, I'm Shelley Childers.
Shelley, thank you. Facebook has launched an alert system to make sure people know what's going on in a major event or an emergency. It's called Local Alerts. The system lets law enforcement, first responders, and local governments send out specially marked local alerts that can reach more people in those areas. Facebook has been testing this in some places. It's now open across the country. Hiring Hoosiers has been exploring educational opportunities that lead to great careers. At Central 9 Career Center in Greenwood, kids are studying biomedical science, and that involves studying forensics. RTV6's Aaron Lish shows us how these students are becoming full-blown investigators.
Students are taking applications of science and putting it into the medical field. And first up, it's forensics. So students will come here to the crime scene to do plenty of critical thinking and problem solving.
If there were people involved, then, they could have pushed her.
Walking around the crime scene, students are figuring out how this woman died.
Why would they kill the ex-wife if they're doing fine on their own?
Instructors say the mock investigation is part of the biomedical science program.
I think it's wonderful. I think of myself more as a facilitator, so I give them the problem and they try to solve it in the end. So.
Jasmine Bickle wants to be a first responder, and as they learn about forensics, autopsies, drug analysis, and the human body's system, Bickle says she will benefit from this program in the future.
So it's kind of like stuff that you'll see on the scene that you need to know when you get to the scene for an EMT.
Students study blood spatter and get a closer look under the microscope, which Devin Cooper believes will help him pursue a career in microbiology.
Just getting experience with the lab, the equipment, and learning safety procedures and stuff like that.
Through this program, they get college credit and certifications in CPR and first aid. And as students get better understanding about biomedical science, they are having fun solving the case along the way.
I think it's really cool. I really enjoy it.
It's pretty crazy, but it's really exciting.
In Greenwood, Aaron Lish, RTV6.
Aaron, thank you. Central 9 provides programs like this one to its 9 partner schools in Johnson and Marion County. We have much more about the Career Center on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. 15% tariffs on more Chinese products started today, and while you may not see prices go up right away, experts say those fees eventually will trickle down. This new round of tariffs impacts everything from TVs to clothes to refrigerators, and the big stores reportedly have enough money to stock up for a few weeks, so until that inventory runs out, we'll pay the old price. Experts say you'll most likely see higher prices in smaller shops. Turning to weather now, it's been a kind of rainy day for the most part. Kevin, still some storms out there tonight.
Some folks hearing a lot of thunder, seeing lots of lightning and some heavy rain. Most of us, the threat for thunderstorms has come to an end. I'll fill in the short-term gap here in a second. I want to show you the big picture. Our temperature Tuesday, not tomorrow, but Tuesday, will peak at 86, and look what happens. It's downhill from there. Wednesday, mid-70s, lower 70s for the high temperature on Thursday. If those are the highs, how cool will the low temperatures be? Lower 50s. Thursday, we start to warm them up a bit as we go to Saturday and Sunday, but still overnight temperatures very comfortable, as well as the afternoons. We've got some thunderstorms between us and when that transition takes place. 72, and it's dry in Indy. Two things factoring into some fog overnight. There's your light wind, that's one, and the very high humidity. And for those that have had rain, which is generally anywhere south of Indianapolis or I-70 this evening, you have a better chance for the patchy dense fog. There's the cluster of thunderstorms now really confined between Seymour and Greensburg. Go get a closer look at that. It's been just moving at about 20 miles per hour, and with the lightning there, you can hardly see some of the cities in the path. There's Westport. This will move between US 50 and 421, just north of North Vernon, through Westport, Millhausen there in Decatur County, as well as Greensburg. Batesville to Versailles, you'll catch this as well as it makes its move toward the Buckeye State and into Ohio. 69 in Greensburg. Temperatures 3 degrees warmer in Indianapolis with that light wind. The patchy fog won't last all that long in the morning hours tomorrow. Again, it will be a little heavier south of Indy. Let's plan out your Labor Day forecast. Hopefully you have the day off. 1 in the afternoon, 78 degrees. Be patient. I think we'll see more sunshine in the second half of the day. Cloud cover will hang in there during the first part of the day. 83 is our average high. We missed the mark, but temperatures will go well below average as we go later in the week. Warmest temperature on Tuesday. The warmer it feels Tuesday, the cooler it will feel Wednesday and Thursday. We'll also set the stage for more thunderstorms Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. There are high temperatures around the region on Tuesday, but rain will hold off until later Tuesday night. 7 o'clock we're dry. You begin to see the line of thunderstorms thunderstorms along the cold front, which will change the wind direction, push the cooler air into the state, and also bring with it dry conditions. It looks like Wednesday right on through the weekend. There's a game plan as we end the work week and make our move toward the first full weekend of September. Temperatures in the 70s 5 out of 7 days, and morning low temperatures comfortably in the 50s. Briefly last week, some folks I'm sure had the windows open at home, let in that fresh air. We'll get back to doing that as we get into the latter part of the week.
I think people are ready for fall.
Ready or not, here it comes.
A lot of people have been posting their little candles, and they're ready for that weather.
Pumpkin spice will notify us when it's really fall.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Well, coming up, Indiana is now in the game. Sports betting is legal as of today, and our very own governor took a little time to place his wager.
36 months on Nissan Road.
Today is a big day for the state of Indiana. September 1st marks the first day sports wagering is legal. This afternoon, Governor Holcomb placed the very first sports bet at Indiana Grand Racing and Casino in Shelbyville. The governor says he picked the Colts to win the Super Bowl, the Pacers to win the NBA championship, and the Indiana Fever to win tonight's game. The sports book in Shelbyville is the first Indiana property for Caesars Entertainment where legalized sports betting is offered. The sports book is called Winner's Circle Race Sports Pub. It's located in the heart of the casino and utilizes the existing track betting and dining venue, but there is also upgraded entertainment experience for sports fans.
We were out to do two things. One, be first to market, which we are. Two is build a book that's experiential. We didn't just throw some TVs in a bar. You're going to come here. This is the best man cave you're ever going to experience in your life.
Well, it's an uber competitive industry, obviously, and regulated. But we wanted to make sure that not just this interest, but the investment was staying here in the state of Indiana, not going other places, especially around our borders.
Sports fans can now make legal wagers on the NFL, NBA, MLB, and in addition to more than 100 other sporting events throughout the year. Leaders expect to see new guests with the introduction of sports betting, which in turn would create more visitation and tourism for host communities. In IndyCar action, Will Power wins for the team at the Grand Prix of Portland. Power's victory helps Honda teammate Joseph Newgarden tighten his grip on the IndyCar championship. Scott Dixon was in control of the race early until his battery died and is now a long shot to win the title. Dave first talked to Power soon after his victory today.
Celebration has only just begun for Will Power, who finally gets that win here at Portland. But heck, you won 2 of the last 3. This is your series now.
Yeah, well, that's what we needed to do all year. But, you know, I said in these last 4 races, I'll race how I'm going to race next year. Unfortunately, Gateway didn't go that way, but we were fast. But, yeah, just a solid day, man. Really solid day.
Here's the thing, and you probably had the race car to win this thing anyway, but when Dixon's got a problem like he did, you got to be ready to pounce on a situation like that.
Oh, yeah. I was happy someone had that sort of like for once. I feel bad for him, but man, we had that at Coda this year. We're leading all that way and then had a gearbox, so I'll take it.
You climbed out. You're exhausted. You had a long stint.
I'm very mentally drained from just hitting my marks. You just like feel like
a very precise racetrack.
It is, yeah. A lot of high-speed commitment corners. Yeah, great day.
I know you're not in contention for the championship. Your teammates are, obviously, but what does this mean? Maybe a little boost heading into the offseason. And, of course, we got one more left at Laguna Seca in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, look forward to the last race. Obviously, I'm going to be doing everything I can to help out the team win a championship. If that means winning a race, I'll do it. But if that means, letting them go, whatever.
Yeah. I did the math. 37 career wins for you now. That ties you 6th all-time with Sebastian Bourdais. That's a lot of wins.
That's good, man. We got to keep going. Keep going.
One more left in 2019 at Laguna Seca in a couple weeks.
All right, Dave, thank you. And rounding out the top 5 finishers, Felix Rosenquist at 2nd, Alexander Rossi at 3rd, pole sitter Colton Herta number 4, and in 5th place, Joseph Newgarden. We'll be right back here with the final check of your forecast.
Toyota, let's go places.
Cheese lovers, this is something to tease your taste buds. Costco is offering a wheel of cheese for sale on its website. It's a 72-pound wheel of Italian Parmigiano Reggiano with a price tag of about $900. But Costco says it's worth every penny because it's aged 24 months and, quote, extravagant buyers can also end up saving money in the long run. Wow.
You think I'd gain weight if I ate 72 pounds of cheese?
Probably.
Yes.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.